What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another BTR podcast.
We're going to get right into it with our NBA playoff races. But before we get into that, please smash the like button and also hit the subscribe button. We are 13 away from 500, so please do that for us. But let's just get right into it. NBA biggest news, Giannis Antetokounmpo avoids a serious injury.
Yeah, so it depends on how you want to look at it, right? So essentially what happened is he got a non-contact injury, literally just walked up the floor and just went down, held around his Achilles area, calf area, obviously. And everybody immediately thinks Achilles, which is obvious because a non-contact injury like that is. And it's not even like he was doing anything crazy. He was just walking at this point. But yeah, reports come out this morning that it's not a serious injury. It's a calf. He'll be out for the rest of the year, which is about 3 games. Question is, what's the status of game 1 of the playoffs, right? Because that's the big one. Because they could have a potential matchup against the 76ers, for all we know, and Embiid's back. But the reason...
Miami.
Or Miami as well, right? And we saw what happened last year. But here's the thing. This reminds me of the Kevin Durant situation all over again. And Kevin Durant, when he got hurt, I think it was in the second round.
Oh, second round, yeah.
And then he missed the remaining, I think, 2 extra games it was, or 2 or 3 extra games against the Rockets. Then obviously the 4 games against the Trailblazers and the first 4 games again. So he missed roughly 10 games, right? And the 10 games in a span of like almost 2, 3, even a month, right? Because he swept the Trailblazers. So they were waiting for the Raptors to play. That Raptors-Bucks series went 6, right? So they had, I guess, an extra week or 2 there. And then between the other 2 series, that was like 6-game series themselves. So yeah, like roughly, and then what happened? Literally a quarter in, he tore his Achilles because he forced himself to play. In this case, I don't know if it's, I can't.
Bro. There's even a more recent example.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. He had a calf injury in preseason.
Yeah.
Look what he did in the first snap, right?
So exactly, right? So is it
Achilles starts from the calves, bro. Like that's just how it is, and it has to be well taken care of because I know Bucks want to win the title, but you're gonna risk next year if you bring Giannis back too soon. On the other hand, if you don't bring Giannis back too soon, you might be eliminated again in the first round for 2 years.
That plus, essentially, the good news is you have a good backup option. The bad news is Damian Lillard is pretty much in Portland again if Giannis doesn't play. The team is very much similar, and Doc Rivers is not doing a good job with that Bucks team right now, right? Especially more recently, and yeah, it's all in the all in the hope of this. But again, it's a calf strain. We've seen what a calf strain did to Kevin Durant, the most recent extreme NBA example. Now Kevin Durant came back and is apparently a better scorer because his points per game is better, but that doesn't mean anything in this case. But so yeah, the biggest question mark is Giannis. The question for the Bucks is, are they screwed? And I say yes, because it's such a delicate injury. You don't know how to manage it because it's still 3 games remaining, right? Game 1 is probably, okay, so they're not on the play-in. I'm going to assume game 1 is around April 20th when the NHL one starts, right? I think the 15th is the play-in. So roughly, even it could be earlier. So you think he'll be ready by then? You better hope it's a weaker opponent and he could stretch, or not stretch. Stretch maybe, but just in general, is he going to just be ready and he could chill the first round? Because if it's Miami, yeah, he might chill the first 2 games, but does that mean he's going to come back forced again? Because what happened last year is the same thing.
Like, okay, bro. He's screwed. He's genuinely screwed.
Yeah.
He can't afford Achilles, bro. The game style he plays, he can't afford an Achilles injury. Kevin Durant is a jump shooter.
Yeah.
All he has to do is get to his spots. There's a reason why he could average more points.
So I don't know what the...
Achilles ends people's careers. We saw what it did to Kobe.
Yeah, right? Only people that came back out of it is Kevin Durant and Brianna Stewart.
Giannis can't afford it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, Giannis genuinely can't afford it.
Because he's obviously an athletic guy and all that.
He's going to the rack every time, bro.
I don't know what the status of the MRI was when KD got hurt at that first, before it became an Achilles injury. But for Giannis, he underwent an MRI that confirmed the strain. It also showed that his left Achilles tendon remains fully intact and didn't suffer any significant damage, according to ESPN's Woj. So maybe that's a good sign. Again, I don't know what Kevin Durant's status was or Aaron Rodgers' status was prior to their when they came back from a calf strain. But again, I still think you have to manage it well. You bring in Damian Lillard for a reason. Maybe this is the reason why. Unfortunately, isn't you guys. Either way, you might be screwed for the championship because you guys are struggling as it is at the moment. But yeah, So we had to lead off with that biggest news. What is the status of Giannis? And the Bucks fans should be very, very, very concerned. Casual NBA fans should be concerned too if you just want to see a good playoff series.
That too, right? But at the end of the day, like, if they manage to win, then they're set. You get, like, Giannis becomes that trade asset. You get Giannis back if you win the first round. So I don't think he should be playing in the first round.
Yeah, we'll see. We're not the medical.
I know, but like I'm just like, just basing it off, what Aaron Rodgers, what happened to Kevin Durant, obviously. It seemed forced, right? They're like, okay, we gotta play, but they weren't fully healthy. So yeah, that's just my case. That's my thing.
And if I'm them, they're right now second place and they're beating the Magic, which is good. They want to make sure they're, again, who knows? Maybe a playing team might not. Maybe they want to drop to third and not play a Miami or a Philly.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's as simple as this, bro. Giannis can't afford this.
Yeah,
right? Like Giannis can't afford to get injured, and the Bucks can't afford. It's a trade off, bro. Like there's a head-to-head situation here. The Bucks can't afford to lose in the first round again. Giannis can't afford this injury.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, his career could be finished.
Yeah, no, we need to definitely see that Damian Lillard that versus the OKC Thunder, essentially.
Yeah,
that's the one we need to see. This
changed the fortunes of the OKC Thunder.
Yeah,
from Paul George to Russell Westbrook to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren.
Exactly. But let's just stick with the East for a second. Obviously, Boston now, with this, whether this injury becomes serious or not, in general, should be the runaway favorite. In anyways, I said Bucks, you said Bucks at the beginning of the year. The way they've been playing, even with Giannis recently, had me struggling. I think even with this injury, I think Boston is a lock to the final. That's just me. And if they don't, they need major changes themselves because they just extended Drew Holiday for another couple of years.
Till like 2027, I believe.
Yeah, for another new 4-year deal for $135 million. I don't know how they're keeping all this because they extended Porzingis as well. Eventually, Tatum will get the extension too, so we'll see how that works out. Depth will be a question, but they work well as a team at the end of the day. So, but their style of play could hurt them because they're a jump shooting more team than they actually drive. So we'll see how that goes. But the Celtics have no excuse not to get to the final this year.
Oh yeah,
literally 0 excuse.
100%,
and even win it. But then on the West side, there's a lot of teams like NHL and NBA Western Conference. You won't be surprised if any of those teams really win.
Yeah,
the Stanley Cup, right? In the East and the NHL, there's like 3 teams. We'll get to that later, but there's 3 teams in my opinion. And now, yes, if Giannis plays, sure, the Bucks will be in that question, but it's the Celtics, and that's it. I don't think any other team. Yes, we have sleeper teams. We get that.
We can't put anyone else in the same tier as the Boston Celtics.
No one,
right?
From the East.
The only one that had the chance was the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they dropped, and we can't say anything else. If the Celtics don't do it this year, I don't know when they're gonna do it with this core.
All right, let's go from the wild card up. Trae Young is supposed to be back soon.
Wild card.
Right. Now, the problem is when him and DeJounte play together, their numbers aren't the greatest, especially their advanced analytics. Some people say that, that's why there's rumors of one of them will get traded in the offseason. We don't know which one. Obviously, we think Trae Young will get the most value, a.k.a. Spurs make the call, right? Yeah. Because if again, we're going to do a Spurs special video later down the line. But, yeah, obviously, this should be the easy pick over the Bulls, in my opinion. But because those guys, when they play together, it doesn't work well, which is weird because DeJounte Murray is such an all-defensive type player, especially the Spurs, and that should cover the weakness of Trae Young. But, yeah, so in that matchup, again, I take the Hawks, but that's going to be a little bit of a fun thing to watch between the Hawks and the Trae Young, DeJounte Murray duo.
Hawks are beating the Bulls. That's all I got. Hawks are beating the Bulls. Bulls suck, man. I'll be very surprised if the Bulls beat the Hawks. I'll be honest with you.
Right now, the Heat look like to be the 8th seed. They're, like I said, there's 2 games remaining. They're 4 games out of 6, right? So they're locked, and in my opinion, they're locked into the 8th seed, right? The Sixers are 1 game out they have also 2 games remaining. So it looks like the Pacers, they could catch them depending on but the Pacers are playing well again right now, especially their offense, and their defense isn't looking too.
Pacers are the 6th seed?
Pacers are the 6th seed right now.
Yeah, I know. So if 76ers are a 7th seed, this is probably the best opportunity the 76ers have to make it to the conference finals. Reason being, you will be facing a Giannis-less Bucks.
Or it might not even be Giannis. It could be like the Knicks or the Magic.
So they could.
Yeah, there's multiple teams that could jump right now because between the
3 games.
between the Bucks, Knicks, Magic, and I'm gonna throw in the Cavs in there as well. It's a 1.5 difference with 2 to 3 games remaining.
That's crazy. The Bucks really lost to like Grizzlies, Raptors, and like another team.
They even choked against the Lakers twice when they were up.
Yeah, I remember that Lakers game.
Yeah,
Without LeBron too.
and their record is like 500 with Doc Rivers.
Yeah, man, you should have kept Adrian Griffin, man. What the hell? The Raptors assistant, Raptor legend Adrian Griffin. He would have got the job done.
Who knows? Right?
30-13. What the hell are you guys now?
Like 15.
You guys made the wrong decision.
No, I think I didn't hate the decision. I don't think they picked the right coach.
Huh?
I don't think they picked the right coach that could have been available.
Right now, they made the wrong decision.
Yeah, in hindsight, yeah. But going back to it, Sixers or Heat, who are you taking? The winner of that probably wants that second. That was seven seed is bad.
I think the Heat are best when they are the complete underdog, so they just lose on purpose and make sure they are the 8 seed again, so they could repeat that what they did last year. But at the current moment, if Embiid is like playing, I do believe the Sixers are better, so I'll go with the Sixers.
Okay. How do you see the rest of the Giannis is out? Their remaining games right now, they're currently beat the Magic. They have the Thunder and the Magic again.
That's tough games. Yeah.
Without Giannis, you have those 2 games remaining. How are you gonna make it work?
What if Dame shines without Giannis? What if the Dame and Giannis duel wasn't working?
Is it better that the Bucks maybe finish outside of 2?
Just to avoid the Sixers?
And the Heat?
And the Heat, yeah.
Right? Because, again, I'm not saying that like any team should look at the schedule. I'm saying like the best case scenario for them might be maybe they lose, they drop to... Again, would you rather play the Pacers? The Pacers had their number. And
they do have
during
the number,
especially during the in-season tournament and
they
all
did,
that as
did.
well. That was earlier on. Do you want to play a Cavs? Would you rather play the Magic? I would say their best matchup might be the Magic. If that's the case, that's a 4-5 matchup or a 3-6 matchup then.
Yeah, man, they're in a tough situation, right? Coach isn't good. Damian Lillard hasn't been Damian Lillard. Your best player is injured. Who, honestly, the biggest part of this Giannis being injured is not because of the offense production, is because of defensive output as well, right?
Exactly.
He is your best defender, and he's only the main reason why your defense is decent.
It's been better with Doc for sure.
Yeah, no, but Giannis is the reason why.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Without Drew Holiday now, like who's gonna take that matchup? Because Giannis could guard all 5 positions. We already know this.
Yeah.
Right? If he needs to guard someone at the perimeter, he'll guard him.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see how this turns out because by the time we come out next time, I think season finale is on Sunday.
Yeah, 3 games.
Yeah, because Monday 15th should be. They're saying the 15th or 16th should be playing.
Yeah, Sunday I think. Yeah.
So Sunday, like by the time we come outside, our play-in picture will be set. Our playoff picture will be almost set, depending on the play-in. But it's gonna be insane. So, yeah. So how would you put? Okay, last thing to close it on the East. How would you put your final standings? If you want to hear my phone, I already have it out.
I'll look at mine. Obviously Bucks at 1. Celtics at 1. We'll go.
Knicks have the Nets, Celtics, and Bulls remaining. But again, Celtics could be resting players.
I'll go. Yeah, but Knicks aren't healthy either.
Magic have the Sixers and the Bucks remaining.
I'll go with the Bucks too. I'm gonna stick with it.
You stick with it?
I'm just gonna stick with it. Playing teams already locked essentially.
Yeah.
Pacers just need to win on 1 more game.
They play the Cavs too.
Well, that's big. So they could even leapfrog.
And then they
Cavs.
play the Hornets.
I think I'm just gonna stick with as is at the moment. Other ones I don't really care about 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, it's be so hard to predict.
Those series are gonna be fun.
They're gonna be like within 1 game, right? So
every series, it's gonna be fun except whoever plays Boston.
like you can't predict it. Like all like 2 to 6 is legit within 1 game, 2 games.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be tough to predict. But if I were to pick the 2nd seed, I would stick with the Bucks. I'll just say that much.
All right, let's move on to the Western Conference now. Let's start off with the top because we know the top 3 teams are gonna be between the Timberwolves, Nuggets, and the Thunder. Obviously, Thunder have been a little bit on a struggle recently. 3-game win streak now, but before that, they were struggling a little bit because Shea was injured as well. I'm not sure if he's back yet, But he's like obviously probably chilling with the quad because he had a quad injury. But he was back. He came back against the Spurs here and beat them. So their remaining schedule is the Bucks and the Mavericks. Okay. The Timberwolves' remaining schedule, who are right now first, they're currently playing the Nuggets at this moment, and which is probably the determining factor of first right now.
That's done.
Hawks and Suns, and then the Nuggets remaining is obviously they're playing the Timberwolves right now, Spurs and Grizzlies.
Nuggets.
If that's the case, if the Nuggets win this game,
if Nuggets win today, they're first.
they should be first place lock.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
they're locked. Yeah.
Which means the Lakers or the Warriors are screwed.
Yeah, essentially.
Right? Or Lakers, Warriors, and one of those teams, and there's gonna be screwed.
Suns or Kings, who knows?
And then Thunder and Thunder and the Timberwolves second or third. How would you figure that out? Because we just predicted the Nuggets will win this Timberwolves game and take first.
No, I'll go Timberwolves second, OKC third, and then obviously Clippers, Mavericks.
They're locked 4-5.
Yeah,
I think they're locked 4 and 5.
Again, we're gonna have a Luka versus Kawhi for I don't know for how many times.
And the Clippers right now have been struggling recently as well. But again, I think when Kawhi is playing and it'll be healthy, I think they'll be fine. That's just me. But okay, yeah. So essentially, the top 5 are locked in that order, except the Nuggets taking first place right now at the time of this recording, right? So the question now is who's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Because all 10 teams are locked. And right now there's a 1-game lead with the Pelicans over the Suns. The Suns are a 1-game lead over the Kings. The Kings are half a game up on the Lakers and 1 game up on the Warriors.
Yeah, so again, like the West, like the East, the 1-game predict. It's just so hard to predict. You could, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I mean, the Lakers did not look great against the Warriors, and now if the Warriors do have control,
they control destiny. Yeah,
I think the Warriors will be the 9th seed, and they will host the Lakers in the 9-10 playoff or play-in. Pelicans, Suns. I think the Kings are gonna play in, obviously.
Yeah.
Pelicans or Suns? Pelicans or Suns?
Suns have not been looking good as well.
Yeah.
That Bradley Beal fit has been okay, nothing crazy. Again, we will see what happens in the playoffs, right? But
I'm just gonna stick with as is. I think the Pelicans will get the 6th. Then it will be 7, 8. Suns, Kings.
That Thunder Pelicans first round will be insane.
Oh, that'll be insane.
That'll be a very fun matchup.
A rematch for last year's play-in.
Yeah.
Right. Thunder beat the Pelicans in their 9-10 matchup, but the Thunder lost to the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
As a 7-8 one. For the 8th seed. I mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Lakers beat the Timberwolves in the 7-8.
Yeah.
The play-in where you guys became the 7th seed, the Timberwolves became the 8th seed.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's definitely, like I said, I think the Nuggets are by far, they're going to be the favorite.
They're by far the best.
Lakers or whoever it is between the Lakers, Warriors, Kings, or Suns. That's fine. I don't know which team will give them the most trouble. Yeah, I mean, I
feel like the Lakers will still give them the most trouble just because
we got swept by them and we didn't do good in the regular season with them. Them and the Kings and this year Warriors later on have been the big kryptonite for us. Now, granted, we didn't have Anthony Davis last game because of he had sickness. But headaches or stuff like that because he did get an eye injury the game before. But
bro, your team is just so random, man.
We would not be in this position if it wasn't for Darvin Ham sticking Torian Prince in the starting lineup for as long as he did. That's the other thing, and benching the other guys.
Yeah, no, but you guys show up right for some of the games. I know you guys haven't been the success that you guys wanted. You haven't been as successful.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
last couple of years, right? You've definitely been underwhelming, for the last 2 years. But at the same time, that performance last year, it was a good run at the end of the day. You can't criticize it wasn't a good run. Yes, it wasn't what you wanted.
Well, yeah, no, for sure.
You still played well, right? You beat the Warriors, you beat the Grizzlies.
Those Nuggets games were close, but yeah, we got swept at the end of the day. But they were except for game 1.
At the end of the day, you still got handled.
Yeah, we
right?
got handled. At the end of the day, sweep's a sweep. It was a close sweep, but we still had to close out a win.
I mean, only 3 of the games were close.
Yeah.
Of 1 game was domination. And realistically, you guys blew the game 2, right? I think Jamal Murray popped off in the 4th quarter for that one and kind of made it look like a blowout, even though it actually wasn't. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Nuggets are by far the best team, right? And if the Clippers, I say this every time, if they're healthy and if they're actually playing what they're supposed to be on paper, they are the best team too. But at this current moment, Nuggets, Clippers, and I think is everyone else.
The Mavericks are a scary team to go into this. The way Luka's been playing right now, he elevated to maybe MVP favorite right now. As well, we'll talk about the award races in a second, how close it is. That Mavericks team in general could be like a scary team just to play because they are a complete team.
Well, yeah.
For the most sense.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, their moves at the deadline is going to help, right? They got Gafford, PJ Washington helping out the defense, which is their biggest weakness.
Yeah.
Right? Derek Lively, as a rookie who had
did well.
all the pressure.
Doing well.
Legit was the reason why their defense was good. And then when he went out, their defense was completely garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Luka, they're playing each other essentially in the first round. Right? So that kind of like eliminates the fact like one of them's going to be gone from like off the bat. So that like one of them is not a contender off the bat in that sense because their path is already crossing. So, but at the end of the day, I do believe Clippers are the better team, right? And the Clippers did handle Luka before, not handle like did beat him. Like I think it was
they can't say handle. He took him to 7.
Took him to 7,
and that was without Kyrie.
Yeah, no, Kyrie's a playoff performer at the end of the day. Too.
Yeah,
Kyrie is.
Yeah, you know what? We're not gonna talk too much of the race here because like they're so close that like maybe next episode literally
there is no race.
Literally, not like the rankings how it goes because
there is no race.
The Lakers could literally finish 7th if they win out somehow.
But then you have to require other teams to lose out.
Exactly. So that's the other thing as well. But so we'll hold that next episode. We'll literally be previewing the play-in games for the most part and the playoff in general. So yeah, let's move on to the award races very quickly here. Both NHL and NBA have, I think, almost every award is close.
Yeah.
MVP earlier on it was Giannis, Shea, and Jokic, and then Luka came into the picture, slight there. Now Giannis is looking like he's out of the 4, replaced by Luka, and people have taken off Shea as the favorite. So who's your favorite? Is it Luka, Giannis, Shea, or Jokic?
It's not Giannis. Giannis is my 4th rank. If I were to rank him 4. The other 3, I'm still very concerned about. I think with Shea's injury is going to hinder him. So I think he's.
But they also lost without him. That's
also
stuff.
good. Yeah, that's good for him. But I think because of that, they're gonna look at the injury. They're gonna make it some.
If he had finished first, I would have been like, yeah, for sure.
I think Shea falls to 3, in that sense. Jokic or Luka? I'm going with Luka.
Why? There's no like I said, pick your poison. Like I don't care.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's just gonna be voters fatigue. That's gonna be a big factor into this. Luka.
But is he your MVP though? Who cares about the voters fatigue?
I would give it to him.
Okay.
I want to be mad whoever wins. I'll be
honest.
Yeah,
same here.
Like,
I'm not
honestly, like if Giannis, not Giannis. I mean, I'll be mad if Giannis wins. I'll be honest. The other 3, Shea, Luka, and Jokic. Pick your poison. I'll be happy whoever wins. But obviously, I will be rooting for Shea. I love Luka too. I think Luka is the MVP. He's just a different monster, right? This was a Luka we were expecting, right? Like Luka has a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
Right, and he's actually playing up to those expectations, which is, which he honestly, in my opinion, he hasn't been in the last couple of years.
He's first in points, second in assists, and his points are 33.9 a game, 34 a game essentially, with his assists being 9.8, essentially a double-double almost. Right?
Yeah, just running the offense.
Yeah, and getting others involved clearly, right? Yeah, I'm honestly, I might be leaning Luka. I really, really want to give it a Shea because that team has no business being that good, which is why Mark Daigneault is going to get the coach of the year. Even the coach of the year races are close, but Mark Daigneault obviously got the rest of the guys going. No one thought J-Dub was going to emerge as much as he had emerged this year, right? No one's really surprised Chet was this good, but at the same time, it's his rookie year, so people would have thought a rookie wall.
He's coming off a big injury.
Yeah, major injury who played every single game, right? And don't get me wrong, Shea is the reason why they're that good. He's the reason why he's going to be the MVP conversation. I'm not saying, like, obviously not this year he's going to be the first all NBA first team, which means he's going to be one of the 2 best guards. I'm not saying he's better than Steph or anything like that, but I'm saying based on this year strictly.
This year, yeah.
It's him.
He has been.
I really want to give him a vote to Shea. I still do because, like, Shaq said it himself. Even in the Stephen A brought a good point that his head-to-head with Luka, he's up. Jokic was up, right?
Yeah, they beat the Nuggets, yeah.
So, it's a tough one. But then what Luka did, and then if Russell Westbrook as a 6th seed at the time again, and he was by himself, got a triple-double season, and the first time he got it was insane. I gotta give it to Luka Doncic here. First in point, 34 and essentially 10.
34 and 10 is crazy.
Right?
It's actually crazy. Right. I have no words for that. Like, that's actually impressive.
And
that
then last time we were having this
that's
conversation.
the Luka we expect.
We were having this conversation when he was in the play-in. Now he's comfortably a 5 seed, could be a 4 seed.
So he propelled his game.
Yeah, way higher.
And he went on the run.
Maybe he saw our freaking post on
I know.
YouTube.
Maybe he did. Luka, subscribe. Yeah, but maybe from that moment he just propelled his game. He went on that run that MVPs go on, and made us even a tougher conversation. But yeah, I'm leaning Luka as well. So that's that.
Coach of the year, is this Mark Daigneault as a lock, or what if the Magic finish second somehow and Jamal Mosley's there too?
Yeah, Mosley's has a show.
The difference
Daigneault has a show.
Here's the difference.
Chris Finch has a show.
He does have a show too. Here's the difference between Daigneault and Mosley. Shea was all NBA last year, and people kind of projected to be the same style this year, and he emerged himself into finalist of an MVP conversation. Maybe could win, but I don't think he will. But I feel like Luka will get the popularity vote as well, slightly, or Jokic, one of those two guys, right? Not saying it's about a popularity contest, but at the end of the day, that's what matters. Bigger market, bigger name players can, be a bias for voters. Jamal Mosley has Paolo Banchero. I'm not saying anything like that, but Paolo Banchero is in his second year, right? So what Jamal Mosley did, everybody thought they were gonna be a play-in team.
Bro, okay, people are more surprised about the Magic than they are the Thunder.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So does that sway the voters to give it to Mosley? Because people are not surprised the Thunder did good. Like they would have thought they were a top 6 team, but they didn't think they were going to be this good. If you're looking record-wise, I think the 54 wins of the Thunder in the West will get Daigneault the final vote.
That's true. Like
that's the only reason why.
They both have the same story.
Yeah.
Who is the better team? The Thunder are the better team, right? And it's
a tougher conference.
Tougher conference. It's a completely different story if the Thunder were like a 4th or 5th seed. But they're fighting for the 1 seed, right? So for that reason, it's Daigneault. Finch has a shout too, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. But then people think Minnesota would have been decent anyways.
Missoula.
Just because
they're the best.
Malone, you have to throw him out there. So, and the other awards very quickly, it's obviously Wemby. We know that. Chet second. We know that. That's been locked up for a while.
I have a question for Deepoy. I know Gobert is a favorite.
I think he's been.
Everybody's saying he's been a lot. You were clowning me when I said Wembanyama was going to be third.
He's going to be second, probably.
He's probably going to be second.
The top 3 right now are Gobert, Anthony Davis, and maybe Victor Wembanyama. Maybe Herb Jones, because he had a stellar defensive year with the Pelicans as well. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, you clowned me.
Oh yeah, no, I'll apologize. I don't know if I should apologize, but yeah, no, I didn't think he was gonna go this insane. Like even Chet has a shout. Listen, going back to the MVP conversation very quickly. Shea's leading in steals too, which is why I'm like, defensively he's better than Luka probably.
Oh yeah,
and that's why I wanted to give him MVP as well, because of what he did defensively as well. It's not even like it's defensively, just like those. Someone pokes the ball and you get the steal. Like he strips it himself as well. But no, going back to the defensive player of the year, I kind of know why I clowned you. I'm not surprised. I guess I'm not really surprised. But at the same,
but it's a Rudy Gobert's award again.
Lakers man, Jordan Hamby cost Anthony Davis an award. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's actually healthy. Like he honestly could have done something.
He could have been in an MVP conversation.
Could have been. Yeah.
He was better than LeBron in my opinion this year.
And yeah. What other word? 6th man of the year should be Monk.
Yeah, that's Monk, and then it's Naz Reid, and then it's probably Norman Powell.
Yeah, I think
those are the 3 there.
I don't know.
Most improved was a tough one. Not a tough one. Is Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, that's Maxey. Yeah.
Right, but then there's Jonathan Kuminga.
Kuminga was good.
There's J-Dub as well, because no one thought J-Dub was gonna be this good in his second. I think it's his second year.
Is he average 20, like 19-20 right there?
Yeah, let me check that. But yeah. And then the clutch player, it's Steph's the favorite. DeMar's right there too. But it's like, how do you really assess that award? I don't know why did they introduce that award?
There's a lot of numbers involved. They're like every last 5 minutes, who has the most points?
19.4 points.
Yeah, so he's still averaging 19. So when we made the OKC video, he was averaging 19 then too.
Yeah, and his shooting splits are insane. 53, 43, and then
that's
80.
your third option essentially. That's your
third option.
That's your third option. Yeah. And he's averaging that much.
Yeah.
And then
they get one more player.
They
get one more player somehow and build around those 3. They'll be fine next year. But yeah, I think that's it for the awards, right?
That's just for the awards, yeah.
So yeah, we'll come back with next episode. That's gonna be our heavy focus because the season will be ending this weekend. So
Should we stick with basketball?
yeah, we should just stick with
March
basketball.
Madness men's final. UConn beat Purdue by 15 points, 75-60, and it was a second half dominant UConn performance, like you said.
Yeah,
First half was back and forth, legit, and UConn, like South Carolina for the women's side, just proved that they are just the better team.
yeah. Caitlin Clark said in her press conference, like, it's South Carolina, you can only do so much.
It's UConn, you could only
And
do so
same,
much.
yeah. But I give a lot of blame to Purdue's coach
Yeah.
because Dan Hurley, UConn's coach, said we just let Edie cook and we just take away the other options. There's no way, and I'm gonna fact check this while I'm talking, that you only hit one 3-pointer the entire game, and you were still playing through Edie when you needed the threes when it was running away, and you didn't change the game plan, and you only attempted 7.
I think they are one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country.
UConn sucked at threes, by the way, and they were
Yeah.
hitting them.
And you can't attempt 7 threes when you're a good
1
3-point
for
shooting
7 from 3.
team. You're a good 3-point shooting team.
They were 6 for 22.
Why are you taking 7 attempts? That just makes no sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
There's so many times in the commentary saying that Purdue is a good 3-point shooting team, and they only made 1. That was the story.
The
of
reason
game.
why I picked Purdue to win, yes, a little slight bias with Edie, but because of the 3-point shooting aspect of it. Because UConn isn't like Alabama was shooting out the
shooting
gate.
lights
They were
out,
shooting
yeah.
lights out, right? And I'm like, okay, that's where Purdue has a chance. And you have a guy. Yeah, he was matched up well with was it Klingen?
Klingen, but
Right?
Edie still cooked.
Edie still cooked.
Like Edie had 61% of the points. I
Yeah.
think,
So
right? Like Edie did Edie things.
I don't know.
I don't think you could blame Edie for this loss.
I'm not blaming Edie for the loss because that was the game
Yeah.
plan anyways for UConn.
No, Edie
He
did.
did his part.
He
but
did his part,
I
yeah.
blame the coach.
Yeah, it's
I
a
really
coach.
do
It has
because
to be
like
the coach.
watching that game, I changed it after and I started watching the Canucks Vegas game. I'm like, there's no point watching the second half because it's just, they're doing the same thing over and over and then they're chucking up shots after.
At the end of the day, like, if you all UConn have to do is make like 3 or 4 threes,
Yeah,
right?
they hit 6.
They hit 6. That's or you're gonna outmatch Edie's 2 point after 2 points.
That's 9 2-point field goals, which Klingen was gonna make it tough for him anyways. To like
Edie had to hit 9 shots.
yeah,
While they hit 6.
yeah,
That's
with
just-
Klingen
with the
on him.
numbers, with the numbers, right? Like you're already losing.
Yeah, I don't get the game plan. Yeah, unfortunately, it was the UConn tournament, like the South Carolina tournament. It was that one at least had way more storylines to it. This one just was straight up UConn and nothing much. And I guess the only shout out to NC State. That's the only one you could say where like that kept a little bit of a Cinderella run, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't understand that. Let's talk about the numbers though quickly here. 14 million, I believe what it was. Considering, good numbers obviously, and you were wrong about the women's final. That
Yeah.
hit 18 million.
Makes sense.
And do you know what the difference between the two is? There was no NBA games on Monday as well.
Yeah,
So like if you are a basketball fan, this is really the only thing you could watch
that is true.
as a basketball fan, right?
Yeah.
And this is the first time ever the women's tournament beat a men's tournament, rightfully deserved, rightfully so.
Yeah, no, this.
And obviously that Caitlin Clark was the main factor of it. We saw that. We discussed it last time. We dropped a video on it itself. Make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, so well done to the women. Hopefully it carries next year. Like we said, Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins,
Yeah, you gotta bring the level.
Heather Hidalgo, I believe from Notre Dame. South Carolina's still going to be always good.
They gotta keep the level. They gotta play like how they're supposed to play.
Yeah.
Now people know who you are.
Speaking
Now it gets tough.
Speaking of Caitlin Clark, and to your point, the WNBA did something. For 90% of her games, 35 out of 40 or whatever the number was, are gonna be nationally televised from ESPN, ESPN2, ABC, CBS.
Well done.
Indiana Fever games, and this is
That's good.
Now imagine if they don't take her.
Imagine.
Obviously, they're gonna probably switch up the
Like,
schedule.
Boston's like, I want Cardoso. I'm requesting a trade.
No chance. Even she probably knows best that it is Caitlin Clark, right? But so the WNBA listened to you, and they did make adjustments. Now the question is, can at least the American consumers, right? And then whenever it's on for us, can go on. And you mentioned it before we were recording as well. Vegas Aces, when they play Indiana, they're moving it to the T-Mobile
Yeah,
arena.
they're getting a bigger
They're similarly
arena,
doing
for
what
sure.
the PWHL is doing. I think Montreal's hosting games at Bell Center.
Follow that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Honestly, follow that. Like, they're doing really well. And now you legit have the talent.
You're
have
gonna
the name.
sell out. You already
Like-
got season tickets from guys like Pat McAfee.
Like, you already have your final set.
Yeah.
right? Like, that finals is worth watching.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Aces versus Liberty
Yeah.
is a final worth watching. They're two super teams going against each other.
Exactly.
And now you have a rookie phenom coming into the mix.
And a sophomore
joining
duo.
the rookie of the year.
Exactly.
Right? So, and then you're going to have more players coming in the year after. You're going to have another rookie phenom in Beckers. This is a smart move and it's a good move, and I've been asking for it, and they did it.
They did it. So
Yeah.
let's see how it turns out. So the fact that 90% of the games are Indiana Fever game, they only had one game last year. So
Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston could only give them one game. Caitlin Clark not doubled, 35 times that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, yeah, it's going to be a fun WNBA season starting in May. The WNBA draft on Monday. And we will definitely come back and recap that
Also,
draft as well.
speaking of Caitlin Clark, somehow the number 22 is retired in Iowa.
It's her number. Just to make that clear
Yeah, I'm
before
just
people...
kidding. Yeah, obviously, the obvious happened. And the number 22 will not be worn by anyone else in Iowa. And rightfully so. It's obvious. We don't have to go through it again. We said it many times. She had one of the greatest college careers ever.
And yeah, to close it out here, her and Edie back-to-back Wooden Award winners.
Yeah, they have like very similar years.
Yeah.
Player of the years, lost in the finals, got the jersey retired.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
But yeah, let's move on. Let's get to the NHL playoffs now because there's a lot to talk about, especially.
No, you got one more thing.
Yeah.
Calipari.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, that's big news. That's big news.
Kentucky coach John Calipari,
Ex-Kentucky coach.
ex-Kentucky coach John Calipari, is going to Arkansas. And we were like, is he going to get fired this year? He's like, no, I'm going to fire myself, essentially. And he took the Arkansas job.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I'm surprised. And when
Surprised.
you listen to experts, they're surprised as well. So it's
I'm
not just
shocked.
us. And we're casual college fans.
All those synonyms of, befuddled and discombobulated, I don't know, and yeah, all that shit. Yeah, why would you go to Arkansas when you had Kentucky? And they're like, nah, we're going to keep you.
Yeah.
Kentucky's a bigger name. Kentucky will attract, at the end of the day, will attract someone.
The only thing that just comes to my head is like he just wants a different scene, and he doesn't want the pressured scene. And like everybody knows, when you think college basketball, Kentucky's at least one, if not at least top three that comes to your head first,
People talk about Kentucky,
right?
right? How long has he been there for?
Since 2011, because he coached Derrick Rose in Memphis. I know that.
So you feeling the pressure now? Why don't you feel the pressure in 2011?
So no, here's the thing. He started off hot with them for sure.
He did. Like, obviously,
The
Anthony
problem
Davis.
though is you would think that he's won multiple championships.
He actually didn't.
He only won one in 2012. He was in Kentucky since 2009. He only won the one with Anthony Davis. He had that undefeated year with Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker and that squad that lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin. I remember that one vividly, where the comparisons were coming. Can this Kentucky team beat the worst NBA team, or the 73-9 Warriors, or whatever the 70? No, at the time they were
Okay, with the 73.
It was the 72-10 Bulls. That was literally a debate.
That was a debate?
Yes.
That's crazy.
But at least, yeah, no, he obviously has not done well the last couple of years. First round exit, missed the tournament, second round exit. And you usually, your school or yourself recruit very well, that you had like almost 40 first round picks to the names of Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, Jamal Murray, Devin Booker, so on and so, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, Bam Adebayo,
That trio.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right?
Raptor
Tyler Hero,
legend Emmanuel Quickly.
right? Tyrese Maxey. So like you could keep naming names, right? And the fact that it's just confusing. There's nothing much to say. Like he's a legend at Kentucky. Don't get me wrong, what he did, but his first half of Kentucky was great. His last half at Kentucky, his last maybe third of Kentucky, not so much. Yeah, we were talking about if he was going to get fired or if he was going to leave.
I think he just full on.
I think he just wanted to move on. Maybe have just a change of scenery.
I think he gave up.
That too as well.
He gave up.
Because there's no way you have the top players. This year you have 2 lottery picks yourself.
He
Even in this year's draft.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter. Like he hasn't been successful. He is that coach, right? Calipari is a coach you would play for,
Yeah.
right? You know how we said that for Don Steele, we said that for Hurley, we said that for Coach K. Obviously, be the biggest one.
Yeah.
Kentucky was a program people wanted to play for.
Exactly.
Like why? Like you can't be feeling the pressure now. You gave up. This like. It's such a
and it's not like you went to a bigger job because there's no bigger job than Kentucky anyways.
It's a prestigious position.
Yeah.
And you just got rid of it just like that. So
yeah.
That's all I have to say.
He took Arkansas. Arkansas's coach ended up going to USC, like we said last time when we talked about the Brawny stuff. But this happened that day when we recorded last time. It just happened later on that night.
Yeah, no, I have nothing else to say. I'm just
It's just I don't know what to say.
Confusing.
That's how you know we are confused. We don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, confusing, but like. Why?
Here's the thing. Who's Kentucky gonna bring in? There was rumors that it's gonna be Bama's coach, but Nate Oates, who built Alabama ground up himself, apparently he shut that down. But we'll see how it goes because money talks in college. So,
bro, remember the Washington coach who went to?
Yeah, he went to
Alabama. What's his name? DeBoer.
Yeah, something like that.
Everyone was so surprised, like from the Washington standpoint.
Exactly, but then it's Alabama, right? So at the same time, it's Kentucky. Like if you're like I said, we said it for every big club in the world. He said he's not leaving either.
What if Hurley just takes Kentucky?
He confirmed that he's not gonna leave. But
he can't
every big club, every big school, if a coaching job is available, you take it because you could be the biggest celebrity that took him to the championship. That's why Eric Ten Hag with United, everyone's gonna take a Man United job, Dallas Cowboys job, Toronto Maple Leafs job, so on, Kentucky, Bama, right? That's what it matters. New York Yankees. So,
yeah, there's a name to it.
So yeah.
Yeah, let's just move on to the NHL side. Playoff races. Let's talk about this is a playoff race. The NBA don't have playoff races. But you know how we said the NBA has so many 1 point this, we can't really rank it? We can't really predict the playoff race because everyone's 1 point from each other.
But there's a new contender that came in. And that's the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yes.
So West is pretty much locked, right?
I'm still sick.
St. Louis may have some sort of chance because right now Vegas is losing to the Oilers. Yeah, so St. Louis has a puncher's chance still, but the games are still in hand of Vegas. But Vegas have been looking dreadful lately, right? Blowing leads.
They're dreadful right now.
Yeah, they're blowing leads. They're getting killed right now. And St. Louis is right now 3 points back, but Vegas will have an extra game in hand after today. So that could determine it. So it should be Vegas in, and it looks like Vegas will be playing Dallas in the first round. That's gonna be their reward for the most part.
That's a rematch of the conference final.
Assuming the Canucks don't choke the division against Edmonton.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, to be fair, LA Kings still have a chance to get overtaken by Vegas, but it's just the way Vegas have been looking that it's like you're comfortably gonna say they're second wild card.
It's crazy that Dallas is a 1 seed in the West when Ottinger hasn't been Ottinger.
Yeah.
Right. And that'll be a rematch of last year's conference finals, Western Conference Finals, where Vegas did destroy and they handled Dallas. So who knows?
But let's go back to the East very quickly for the playoff race. Yeah, so right now, 2 spots are wide open. That's the third in the Metropolitan, currently occupied by the New York Islanders, and the second wildcard spot currently occupied by the Washington Capitals. And then the remaining spots are left, in our opinion, is going to be Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Philadelphia. I think the Devils and Sabres are going to be done. So with that being said, Pittsburgh, coming from the dead, when we thought after that Gensel trade, we wrote them off. We literally wrote them off.
We did.
And now they're back. Crosby has played his into the Hart conversation if he were to make the playoffs, and I would not be mad at it. He deserves to be in that category with McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov. But how are you looking at this race and how you think it's going to go? Because I thought it was going to be Washington, and I think I said Detroit would get it. You said Philly and Washington, I believe. But Philly are on an 8-game losing streak right now. So how are you going to go with this?
Every time I say something, the exact opposite happens.
Okay.
I said Philly were going to fall off originally, and they were there.
Yeah.
And I'll put my faith in Philly, then they fell off. I'm still sticking with my Washington pick. I still said that. Oh, he hit 30, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. Yeah. We're going to talk about that later. That's
I'm just going to say that. Ovechkin turned up. Washington got better. No surprise with that.
When you said that, they started struggling right away.
Huh?
Washington started struggling right away when we made that prediction last time.
We did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are actually cursed, bro. Yeah, I'm still sticking with Washington. Yeah, I think the Flyers are done.
I think they're done. 8-game losing streak. There's no way.
Yeah, you're in
That-
you're in that rut right now.
That last
You
game of
lost
this,
to Montreal like 9-2 or 9-3 or whatever it is.
that last game between Pittsburgh and Islanders is on the 17th. The very last game of the year for them. It was against each other. So that's gonna be insane. The New York Islanders again. They're on a 5-game win streak. The Penguins and the Red Wings both lost a game, and Washington won a game. It's gonna be I'm going with Washington because they're only 2 points
Washington
behind,
play Philadelphia at the end.
and I'm gonna give it to Pittsburgh.
Washington play Philadelphia at the end. You think Islanders are calling out?
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh will beat the Islanders.
Not in the last game of the season.
Yeah.
They do play the Canadians next, so that should.
Hey, the
be a
Canadians
dub.
destroyed the Flyers.
Yeah, for Flyers are supposed to.
The Red Wings do have the Red Wings play Penguins today. When this comes out, so yeah, today.
All right, so I'm writing off the Devils and Sabres, right? You
Yeah,
have to write them
I
off.
already wrote them off.
Flyers I'll write off. Everyone else, I'm just like, yeah, damn. 2 spots between 2.
But
4
Detroit doesn't have the luxury of the divisional spot. That's the thing.
teams. They don't. That's straight wild card. Yeah,
The other guys at least have choices.
they could. Yeah, they could all tie. Like Detroit is straight wild card too. That'll be 5 teams in the Atlantic if Detroit makes it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tampa's
Tampa
already
already clinched, yeah.
So
And Detroit plays Pittsburgh. So that's going to be the determining factor there as well.
Big
So
game,
because
man.
of that, I think Pittsburgh's going to win their 2 big games. And I think Pittsburgh will get in. And I think Washington gets in.
yeah, I mean, I kind of hate it. Right, they're on a run. But then again, it's not because.
And
of the-
Washington play this.
You don't have to worry about Pittsburgh winning the big games. You have to worry about Pittsburgh winning the little games.
True.
Who are they playing the little games? Are they playing Chicago again?
Or they.
That's the question.
They
Or
are.
a Chicago level team.
No. They have a tough schedule.
Who
Red
is it?
Wings, Bruins, Predators, Islanders. So they're
I
in.
know, they're in. Yeah, they're in.
They're in.
All right, so that means Pittsburgh is gonna be eliminated from the playoffs, and yeah,
And Washington.
no, Washington will be in.
But yeah, no, it's Pittsburgh. Obviously, if I kept with my original pick, I would have looked like a genius. Obviously, I backed away once the Gensel trade happened because there was no reason to. But yeah, no, we'll see how this race goes. This we'll be talking about next week once the season ends. But so yeah, the East race is definitely insane at the moment. Let's talk about, you brought it up, Mr. Alexander Ovechkin.
I said Ovechkin will hit 30 goals when he had 18 with like 20 games left, and now
I
he's.
doubted you, and again, I was
You
wrong.
doubted your favorite player, right? You didn't doubt me. You doubted
Yeah.
Ovechkin. You did that.
I was just going on based
The
on
one who wanted to buy his shirt.
who has a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, who wanted to buy his shirt.
Yeah,
Saw his shirt get ruined in the dryer, then quickly bought another one.
yeah.
Doubted his favorite player that he wasn't going to break the record of having 18 seasons where he has scored at least 30 goals. And now the Gretzky chase has been back on, and it's looking like it's around 40 goals that he needs more just to catch up to it.
Yeah.
I believe around 40. And we could see that happen next year. That is for sure. The greatest goal scorer ever to play the game has done it again.
All right. Let's transition to probably the greatest goal scorer now, Mr. Austin Matthews. Do you think he'll hit 70 goals? Because he's right now at 66.
I thought he was 67.
66.
Okay.
He hit 65 and 66 in the last 2 days.
Yeah. So
So it's 66 in 3 more games, or 4 more games.
I don't doubt goal. I shouldn't doubt goal scorers anymore. I didn't doubt Ovechkin.
He's already passed the record. He's beaten Ovechkin 65 goal mark.
Yeah.
He's already hit 60 twice. Ovechkin has done it once. Ovechkin obviously has a lot more 50 goal seasons, and obviously we'll see.
Like Matthews went under 40. Right? Like Matthews has like 30, then he goes up to 60, then he goes back down to like 40. Like he never had like 50s consistently.
But then because of those 60s and potential 70 now,
he's still in the race.
he's on the same trajectory as Ovechkin. And like I said, Ovechkin got screwed over with 1 whole year missed. He would have been in the cross. He would have been the 1.5 year for sure because of the lockout.
Yeah,
They both missed COVID at the same time.
Yeah,
that's
so yeah,
different.
half a season.
I don't think
lockout.
Matthews has been as injured as well. Ovechkin has been an Ironman himself for the most part. Like he hasn't missed more than like 5 games at the very max in the top of my head. So Yeah. So you think he hit 70 or no?
I'll say yes.
How much do you want to see it? I genuinely want to see it.
I
I know
wanna
he's a
see it.
Leaf, but I want to see it.
I'll say yes. You know, I respect Matthews. I just don't respect the team. That's the thing. So yeah, I'm gonna say yes. I'm not gonna doubt goal scorers. They just score. Shooters shoot.
All right. So 4 Canadian teams are in the playoffs. They're locked. They're clinched. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the Vancouver Canucks, Edmonton Oilers, and the Winnipeg Jets. So my question for you is this: is this the best chance for a Canadian team to win it all? And how would you? We'll rank them, I guess, after at the end. But how would you rank it and stuff like that?
100% is the best chance. When you look at Toronto, they're always in the mix. They have their core. They've always been making the playoffs. There should be experience. Yes, you know, I meme them a lot. But like, I'm being real here. Toronto, at the end of the day, they are still a good team,
Yeah.
right? Edmonton, same thing. They've been there. They've done that. They have they have the best player in the game and another top 5 player in the game. Stuart Skinner has proven that he could hold the crease, right? He's not going to win you games and stuff, but he could do what Aiden Hill did. The Vancouver Canucks are a complete surprise. They were not supposed to be here, but everyone's playing to what they're supposed to play like. You know, Talk has got these guys playing. Demko was playing great before he got injured. PD is doing PD things. Hughes, Norris, JT Miller hit 100 points. Besser hit 40 goals. Like, these players are playing to what their potential is. Winnipeg, again, they made that big trade, but Scheifele is playing like Scheifele. Kyle Connor is playing like Kyle Connor. Morrissey is playing like Norrissey, and Hellebuck is Vezina favorite. So, and all these guys, like, Winnipeg is keeping up with Avalanche and Stars for their 3-headed race for the Central Division. Vancouver's leading the Pacific. Toronto's at the end of the day still in the conversation. They're third in the Atlantic. And Edmonton's right behind the Vancouver Canucks after that terrible start. This is the best chance. Like, I haven't seen any other best chance. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, no, and to bounce off that point, because last year, yes, Edmonton had a good year, don't get me wrong, but Vegas it was pretty much Vegas's cup to lose for the most part.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? The year before that, it was clearly Colorado's to lose.
And then maybe a Tampa.
You could throw in Tampa,
yeah.
sure, right? The 2 years before that, it was Tampa.
It was Tampa, yeah.
Right? Winnipeg, it was like Winnipeg had that one chance when Vegas first came into the league. That was like the last time where I'm like, okay, they
made the conference finals then, yes.
Yeah, and they lost to Vegas, right? So, and here's the thing. So there's no real favorite, right? That's number one. And number two, each of these teams, you won't be surprised if they win the cup. Out of all, before we rank it, I guess out of all 4 of them, Toronto has the toughest path just because of their division. But the rest of, but the conference-wise, the West is very hard, but each team is like similar level, at least what was proven in the regular season,
like,
right?
You would say that you wouldn't be surprised at least 7 of the 8, even if you throw in Nashville because of the run.
Yeah.
If 8 of the 8 make the Stanley Cup, let alone win the Stanley Cup.
You won't be surprised.
You won't be surprised.
And for and each team also has some type of flaws. They have a caveat as well. Like for Vancouver, it's obviously Thatcher Demko and his health. If he's gonna play, then yes, I have all the faith in them. Their defense has stepped up this year. You got, and their depth scoring has to be there. But like Connor Garland, Dakota Joshua have been the unsung players this year as well. Hoglander as well. And defensively, Talkett's got them going and stuff like that. Edmonton, their biggest question mark, we all know what it is, but you said it, he's been fine, is Stuart Skinner, and defensively, how are they going to do? But it's also their depth scoring outside of their 3 main guys, because Zach Hyman has 52 goals, can they score outside of the power play?
Out of the 4 teams, I believe Edmonton has the least concerns.
Yeah. Winnipeg, I think they're a superstar away still, but hockey's a team sport. They have Rick Bowness has them playing in a well-played structure. You have Connor Hellebuck, who should be the Vezina favorite this year anyways, right? And you got Scheifele playing. Kyle Connor was playing well during the year before he got hurt and then came back. He's playing fine. You added Tyler Toffoli, who has cup experience as well. So we'll see. And yes, they faltered a little bit down the stretch, and because of that, they're not going to win the division because I think Dallas pretty much has it on lock at this point. And then Toronto we already know, memes aside, it's obviously their path out of their division is tough, but their goaltending concerns and their defense concerns are going to be the biggest factor.
So when you look at all the rankings, I will put Winnipeg at 4.
Okay.
I don't know if you agree or not. Are you doing combined or are we gonna have your separate?
We'll go separate.
Separate. Okay, so I'll go Winnipeg at 4. I would go Canucks at 3. I'll go Leafs at 2 and Oilers at 1. Reason being, Oilers and Leafs, I'm giving the edge because of experience. Canucks have shown this year, especially after All-Star break, they struggled against playoff teams. And then Winnipeg, I just think Canucks have a little bit better star power than Winnipeg, so that's why I'm giving the edge to Vancouver.
The thing with Winnipeg is also they're probably playing Colorado, and if they somehow beat that, that won't surprise me if they beat Vancouver or Edmonton, Vegas, whoever else they have to play to get to the final, right? But I do agree slightly. I'll put Winnipeg slightly behind Toronto. So Winnipeg's my 4. Toronto will be my 3 because again, if they're playing Florida in the first round, it's very tough. And I could flip flop them too if I want to, but I'm gonna keep it that way because again, I won't be surprised if Toronto gets past Florida. And if they get past Florida, I feel like they could beat a team like Boston. But Boston, we'll talk about, maybe touch on it a little bit later, is also playing Tampa Bay most likely in the first round. I think
That'll be a big matchup.
I think New York has the first lock, not locked, but they're leading the conference as a whole.
Right? So they should be.
Number 2, I'm going Vancouver. And yes, the lack of playoff experience is going to scare me. Again, the caveat is Demko. If Demko's not playing, then they're probably 4.
Oh, we're cooked.
Then they're 4.
We're cooked.
But the reason why I have them 2 is because I just like the way Talkett's got them playing, and defensively you have to be that's how you have to play well in the playoffs.
Yes.
As well.
So.
And the number 1 is Edmonton. That's very obvious.
I think for me is like 2, 3, and 4 could switch around. Edmonton is by far the best team.
Yeah.
Or best chance, I would say. It's because obviously you have Connor McDavid, who is unfortunately out right now for missed practice as well. So maybe it might be rest, maybe just cautious.
Yeah, they beat Vegas.
They beat Vegas like 5-1 anyways. It doesn't matter. The thing with Vancouver is I agree with Toronto. Like I do believe they have the harder path. With Vancouver is they're gonna have a tough path too, right? At the end of the day, like if Vegas do figure it out these next couple games and they become the 3 seed instead of a wild card, 3 in Pacific, I mean, and if the Canucks don't win the division, you have to go through Vegas,
then
and Edmonton.
Yes. So the matchup, then I'll flip Vancouver down.
Yeah.
Then I'm flipping Vancouver down.
But another thing is, it's a completely different story. If the Canucks play well, right, they've got that big win against Vegas. If they beat Arizona today, if they beat Edmonton and get into that little run that they've been on in the beginning of the season, that we haven't seen them go on a run since the All-Star break. But if they go on that run right now, entering the playoffs, we've seen what Florida did last year.
Exactly my point, right?
But let's see if they stack some wins here. You got Arizona, then you got a big game against Edmonton on Saturday.
That's going to be the playoff.
If you could stack those wins together, then you got Calgary.
And they close the game on Winnipeg, but I feel like that will be like a rest game for both teams.
But if you could win these 3 of these next 4 games, I will feel much more confident about you. That's all I'm going to say about the Canucks. But yeah, go Canucks.
But yeah, this is definitely the best chance.
Go Canucks, go.
Yeah, this is definitely the best chance for a Canadian team to win. Genuinely, there's 4 of them out of the 7 that are in.
4 of them have been like...
And they're 4...
division races. Like 4 of them in... Like,
they're all in the division? They're not a wildcard team, is what you're trying to say?
No, like they've been like, other than Toronto, like 3 of the 4 like...
have division leads or
had
capable
a division
of division
lead,
leads.
or like, we're in that division race.
Yeah.
Right? Like of being that 1 seed
exactly.
potentially. And I think Toronto almost had a case too, but then Florida and Boston just took over in that sense. But yeah, no, it's the best chance. If it's not now, I don't think it'll happen in another 5 years, I guess. Hockey is a Canadian sport. Do not take it over. Right? Americans have 23, 24 teams.
Yeah.
Canada number 1. And Olympics will show you Canada number 1.
Or the
World Cup of hockey.
Yeah, not World Cup.
Like
whatever.
the fake World Cup of hockey.
I forgot what they called it, but
whatever it is.
It starts with the F. It's an alliteration with F. But let's before we move on quickly, is obviously Vegas is the obvious choice. Is Tampa Bay the team that from the wild card that could go far? Because right now they're playing Boston, and if this sticks and next week we do our predictions, obviously I'll do a little bit more research. I might pick Tampa as an upset over Boston if it's even considered an upset.
I remember last time Kucherov had like these many points.
Yeah,
was when they were the 1 seed and they got swept by Columbus. So I think Kucherov having this many points is not a good sign for them, just for their past. But then again, this is their best chance. If Tampa Bay wants to get back into that cup picture, they have a good path for it. That's for sure.
So you've mentioned Kucherov. Let's talk about the award races and how close pretty much every award race is going to be. The stock Art Ross, Kucherov is at 139. McKinnon's at 137, and McDavid is at 130 at the moment. So I believe it should be between Kucherov and McKinnon. But there are 4 games, and if McDavid does play, especially, he's probably resting for Vancouver on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an insane game, and we don't know if Demko will be back for that game or not. But Kucherov, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about the heart, because the heart is between these 3 guys.
I'll say this much. I think Ross, Kucherov has it on lock. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Because of that, does he win Hart? Because I'm throwing Crosby in there, but Crosby's gonna be
Crosby's not winning. I'll still give McKinnon the edge. But Kucherov has definitely made
but
it
it's
so
way
close.
closer. Because
it's so
what
close.
Kucherov did, they're a wild card team as well.
Yeah.
And in that, it's a tough division for sure. But what Kucherov has way more points than is the next guy in points on his team.
On his team, yeah.
I think you have to combine a couple of people to even hit his.
Yeah, I think Point is probably maybe second.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Like, I don't think Hedman has played like a Hedman level this year. Definitely Vasilevsky has not played like a Vasilevsky level this year. You know, Stamkos got his goals and stuff, but Kucherov is by far was the best player on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Braden Point's at 86. There's a 53-point difference.
Yeah, like, you know, in those years past, you're like, okay, yeah, Kucherov, you know, Point's right behind him, Hedman's right there, Vasilevsky's right there.
This is 86, 77,
like,
76.
This year just went straight Kucherov. And
Yeah.
it wasn't even close.
So because of that, does that not mean he was the more valuable guy? Because if he wasn't playing, there would be
That's
screwed,
true, yeah, that's true.
right? Because
I
at
feel
least
like Kucherov is like the Luka in this situation.
yeah, literally, that's literally what it is.
I think so.
I really want McKinnon to get it. I still think I give him the edge slightly because he can. Again, I can't say Kucherov hasn't done it from day one because since we started the season when we were recording, Kucherov has been up there and voting
Ever
as
since,
well. It's
yeah.
always been him and McKinnon until McDavid showed
And
up
it's still
later.
been him and McKinnon.
Right, so it's between those two. I won't be mad at who wins it. I think it has to be between those two though.
100%. 100%.
Vesna, I think that's a lock with Vasilevsky.
Yeah, with Demko's injuries, obviously Bobrovsky's kind of in the conversation, but it's hella buck. There's no questions here.
Okay, I think Barkov will probably get sulky, but then that's an award we have to do more research on because it's just tough to judge it based on stats.
I forgot.
Norris.
Quinn Hughes.
Now, here's the thing. Frank Saravelli said outside of Vancouver, the people he has talked to, it is a close race. And Yossi will take away some votes now.
It is a close race. I recognize Makar. I recognize Yossi. You know, game recognizes game, even though my game is very shit. But Quentin Hughes has been the best defenseman from day one till game 82.
Okay, before we continue on. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, he's just extending names on purpose. So don't comment, are you dumb? That's not his name.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
just do it.
So I just want to make that clear.
It is Quentin Hughes though. Is it not?
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, that one is right.
Okay, you're right on that one.
That one's legit because I actually knew it. That one I said on purpose. Like the other one, I know I said like Franklin Lampard and like all that.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that I do that stuff on purpose, but this one was legit.
Okay, but going back to the conversation, yes, we're gonna be slightly biased. I get that, right? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, no.
I firmly believe this.
But we have a reason. Craig Button come out and said the conversation is who's a second. He's like, it's because Quinn Hughes is gonna hit 90 something points this year.
But like, yeah, no, that's true. He's at 86 right now, unless he gets an assist.
I think he's at 88.
Or 80. I forgot the Vegas game. I don't know how many points he got in the Vegas game.
2.
So then 88. He should be at 88.
Yeah.
And as simple as this, right? He has been from game 1 to game whatever it is now. I think Quinn Hughes has been best all through that stretch, right? Like we're hearing Yossi now. We heard McCarr like 2 months into the season.
Yeah.
Like in the first 2 months, it was Hughes and there was nobody else.
Yeah.
Then
To the
we
point where
finally started hearing
McCarr
McCarr.
was there. McCarr was ahead of McKinnon in the Hart race.
You know, we finally started hearing McCarr. Then now we're hearing
I can't say
Yossi.
finally because when we had Greg Wyshynski on the first time, the question was can Hughes or McCarr win the Hart, and it was from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I can't say that until
But
McKinnon
whatever.
took over.
Hughes had the head start.
Yeah.
And he has never looked back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope he gets it. I think it should be him, but
He got robbed of the Calder. All right, McCarr robbed him. McCarr robbed it of the Calder. All right, it was the COVID year, so obviously we were looking at the playoff stuff much more as well. So this year's Hughes.
because he's been like, if he wasn't going, the Canucks suck.
Yeah, simple.
Compare, right?
And you know, I just said like before, like 5 minutes ago that Olympic, Canada, yeah, all that stuff, and McCarr's Canadian. I'm sporting the American, but he's playing on.
There's a
Canadian
difference
market.
when you do a squad.
Yeah,
That's
but
why.
he's playing on a Canadian team.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think it should be Quinn Hughes, but I won't be surprised if some way, somehow, he does not get it. I'll be annoyed, but I
I'll
won't
be
surprised.
annoyed. I'll be annoyed. Yeah.
Talk it, Coach of the Year? Or how much do you want to
Yes.
give a edge to a guy like
You can't even think of
Spencer?
you can't even think of anyone.
Spencer
It's talk it. You can't even think of anyone else. Tortorella fell off.
Tortorella fell off. You're right. You got Laviolette. You got Rod Brindamore. You have the Washingtons. I forgot his name. Spencer Scarberry, I think his name.
Yeah. But it's Rick Tocchet. As simple as that.
Or Edmonton's new coach.
No,
But yeah, it should be It should be
it's Rick
Tocchet.
Tocchet.
It
It's
should be
Rick
Tocchet.
Tocchet.
Am I missing
Right.
any words?
Yeah, there's a 6 man of the. I'm just kidding. That's
Out of the
it, I
main,
think.
these are the main ones.
That's it. These are the main ones. There's
Okay.
obviously like those other ones.
Lady Bing and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to the Arizona Coyotes.
What?
And they might be the Utah Coyotes
Or Salt Lake.
or Salt Lake Coyotes very soon.
Or a whole different name for all we know.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Yeah. Is it finally happening?
So essentially, Frank Saravelli reported that it's not official or anything like that. There's still a lot of paperwork and all that too. It is progressing. The NHL has 2 schedules made next year, 2 drafts of schedules made, one for Utah and one under Arizona. Arizona's supposed to have some type of vote this year, but I guess this time, unlike last time, they're trying to make a backup plan if they have to relocate. And we said it when we first started the pod. This is when the news broke out the first time. I said Salt Lake as one of my options. It was the main one. It ended up being Salt Lake. Ryan Smith from the Utah Jazz ownership group. I think he's the one who's pushing for this as well. And it sucks because Phoenix or Arizona in general is a good spot for players to go to, rather to live, right? You could golf. It's sunny. Austin Matthews is from there, right? And for how long it's been there, people say it's a good hockey market. Because of that, people would like to go there because of the thing. We meme on Arizona, but Arizona this year has been, like, they have a good young team in general coming up, right? Shane
true.
Doan's son, Josh Doan, has stepped up this year. You got Clayton Keller, right? You added other Sean Dursey and all these guys. You had a good goalie in Connor Ingram this year. Is that it?
Connor Ingram. Yeah, Connor Ingram. We're figuring out the main guy, the main young guy, and Dylan Gunther.
Yeah. But it's just the inconsistencies.
Logan Cooley as well.
Yeah, Logan Cooley as well. This instability and all that I talk, it's like it's because of the instability and everybody's tired of it. That's the reason why I said they need to move on from it. It sucks because guys like Craig Morgan and all these guys who run the team probably won't be going to Utah because they work in Arizona for a reason. Arizona has all 4 teams. They're probably now going to lose one if that's the case.
One, but I won't be surprised if Arizona gets one back.
But how though?
And down the line, I'm not saying like right away.
Yeah,
but I think at the end of the day, like NHL will have Arizona as one of the hotspots to get a hockey team back.
Yes, but they better make sure there's a proper plan.
Oh yeah,
that's the key thing.
That is key
because
sure.
no city wants Arizona in. Now I don't know how much of it has to do with the ownership group or as an NHL issue about that, but yeah, if that's the case, Salt Lake is I think that's the best spot. It's the colder area as well. Now, Farhan Lalji brought a good point up. He's like, Clayton Keller signed that extension to be in Phoenix, not in Utah. So I wonder how much of an effect that will take on people.
It'll be that Ilya Kovalchuk thing where Clayton Keller is gonna lead the franchise in points, but never played in Utah.
Who knows, right? But yeah, it's looking like it's gonna happen. We'll see how once it's official.
What will be a team name? Rocky Mountain.
No, I don't know if they'll keep it Coyotes or not, but
Salt Lake Coyotes sounds fine. It doesn't sound that bad. But yeah, let's move on to our quickfire topics. And to end off this pod, obviously there are 4 of them: NFL, MLB, Champions League, and UFC.
We ought to go UFC.
Start off with UFC 300. Massive card.
Yeah.
To the point that Davison Figueiredo
is kicking off the card and the prelims.
The prelims.
And then you're closing the prelims with Yuri Prochazka and Aljamain Sterling. And Kayla Harrison, who's making her debut, I think, for UFC as well. Jessica Andrade is on that card. Usually she's in the main card as well.
Should we start at the main event and predict that quickly?
It's Alex Pereira.
The
reason why, I'll go with mine quickly. The reason why I went with Alex Pereira, Yuri came back from injury, fought Pereira right away, got dominated. Pereira's been the consistent guy. Jamal Hill's doing the same thing. And because of that, I think Alex Pereira should win that fight.
I agree with you 100%. I'm going with Alex Pereira. But that doesn't mean Jamal Hill doesn't have a chance. But
Yeah.
Jamal Hill did beat up on old Glover Teixeira to win the title.
Yeah.
And he was dominant. Don't get me wrong.
He was in a hostile environment too, because it wasn't Brazil.
Yeah, the last time we saw Jamal Hill, he was dominant.
Yeah.
But this is a different beast.
Exactly.
And
Willie Zhang, I think, should win. I don't know who the other person is. No offense. But
I'm every time she's in the fight, I'm just picking her. That's just how it works.
okay. We'll end off on this one after. Charles Oliveira versus Armin Tsarukyan. I heard this guy's actually good.
I'm a
But you're
fan,
Oliveira fanboy.
so I have to say him. Like I say with Volk.
And this is Charles need to have a good performance, and then it should be him versus Makachev.
Yeah.
At least in the near future.
So let's go, Charles.
Here it is, the big one. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway for the BMF, being defended.
For the first time, ever.
Yeah.
Gaethje Holloway.
Holloway's the underdog right now. I think he's coming up in weight as well.
Yeah. So for that reason, I might just go with Gaethje.
Yeah. I'm a you're a Charles Oliveira fanboy. I'm a Justin Gaethje fanboy, and I love Max Holloway too. I think his only kryptonite was Alexander Volkanovski, and it's mainly the third fight that he looked bad in. Otherwise, every fight and he was close, right? But give me Justin Gaethje. I feel like he also is trying to get that one last title shot opportunity. So it's him, Poirier, and if Charles wins, which it should be Charles first in my opinion, but I think that fight will most likely happen in Abu Dhabi, like it was supposed to happen last year in October. So which means one of Gaethje or Poirier, but most likely Poirier will fight Makhachev next in June probably, or whenever the next available card could be for that. But yeah, give me Justin Gaethje. All I know is this is gonna be fight of the night. It's gonna be the most exciting fight because every Gaethje fight is.
Yeah.
And Holloway will make it
obviously
fun
Holloway will make it really fun. Yeah, I agree with you. That's our UFC 300 predictions. We never get them right.
Boxing fights are gonna start coming the week after.
Yeah, you got
so it's
Fury
gonna be
Usyk
insane.
coming up soon.
Yeah. No, before that, it's
You got the
Ryan Garcia,
Garcia Haney.
Devin Haney, right?
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that goes. But moving on, let's go NFL.
NFL. Joshua Allen, not the quarterback. The Jaguars defensive end has got a contract extension. He was franchise tagged. And he got a massive extension. I think is $150 million over 5 years.
$88 million guaranteed.
I think it's well deserved. I think the one constant in Jacksonville has been Josh Allen. He's always been producing, right? Even more than Trevor Lawrence and even all these, like, he's been the most consistent player in Jacksonville, in my opinion, for the last few years.
He's only behind Nick Bosa, who's at $34 million, and then Chris Jones is at $31.75 million. So Nick Bosa actually beat Aaron Donald's contract last year. But remember when Aaron Donald was
Yeah.
So he's actually fourth now. I don't know who else could match him. Maybe guys like, if he's getting this much, for sure, guys like Aiden Hutchinson.
He also has
and all these guys will get massive deals as well.
Yeah, I know Aiden Hutchinson will be probably the next one, I would say. I agree with Aiden Hutchinson.
But yeah, massive contract. Did not expect this big of a contract.
Yeah, I didn't.
Jacksonville does overpay people, but this is their own guy.
But this one makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, like he has been your most consistent player, and honestly, he has been your best player. I'm just gonna straight up say it. He has been your best player over the last few years. 7
of the 9 players who were tagged this offseason have signed long-term extensions. Josh Allen, Brian Burns, L'Jarius Sneed, Justin Madubuike, Jalen Johnson, Michael Pittman Jr., and Kyle Duggar.
So it's T. Higgins and who? Who's the other guy?
Antoine Winfield.
Oh, wow. They didn't even sign Winfield yet.
Yeah. T. Higgins still has a requested trade, so draft is coming up as well, so he might be a trade target for a team like
NFL
Buffalo.
news might start heating up again.
Exactly.
Obviously, the latest being the Diggs
Make sure you guys check our podcast with Nick Shook. We talked about the draft a little bit there as well. But moving on, let's go to the MLB. The big news that came out of there is Shohei Ohtani's ex-translator now is negotiating a guilty plea. He is going to plead guilty to federal crimes stemming from allegations that he stole millions of dollars from the LA Dodger star. Sources told Tim Marengo and Michael Schmidt of the New York Times.
Obviously, Ohtani is the big winner here.
Yeah.
But a bigger winner is the MLB. That is for sure. Because they don't have
and the Dodgers.
Yeah. But MLB, because the man that puts eye on their sports, they don't have to investigate him and they don't have to worry about kicking him out or not kicking him out just because and being unethical in that sense.
Yeah, I don't know if the investigation is still going on in general, MLB's investigation, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's big news coming out of the update of the Ohtani situation. Other big news already, the number one prospect in MLB. We knew he was going to get called up this year. It happened literally 10 to 12 games in. Jackson Holliday already called up, playing second base for the Baltimore Orioles, son of a former MLB player, Matt Holliday.
Yeah, son of a legend, son of a great player. And he's been great himself. Spring training got buzz. Has such a baby face. He does not look that old, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. Let's see what the Orioles do. Honestly, I hope they don't do anything because we're in that division. The Jays looked good last couple games. Vladdy looked good last couple games, but today's pitching let them down. But let's wrap up the pod with some amazing, absolutely fantastic Champions League games.
Every match lived up to it, especially the three big ones that we were looking forward to.
For sure.
So let's start off with the biggest one, Real Madrid versus Manchester City at the Santiago Bernabeu. That ended 3-3. Madrid allowed a shitty free kick goal by Bernardo Silva. Took an early 1-0 lead. City took an early 1-0 lead 2 minutes in. After that, City's questionable goal was allowed with Madrid scored 2 quick goals. The second one, I'm just like, how did that go in? Like, Rodrigo one. And then City then comes back, makes 2 goals, scores Phil Foden scoring a banger, Guardiola scoring a banger as well. Guardiola's first goal as a City player. And then pretty much immediately after a banger play by Vinicius Jr. to Fede Valverde to tie the game up late, going into the Etihad, that is a 3-3 game. Obviously, lived up to the hype.
Remember, away goals do not matter anymore. So City definitely don't have that advantage that they would have had.
They just have the home advantage, but then it is the Etihad, so I don't know how much.
Yeah, so they might be screwed.
Speaking of City, who still have 115 charges, I think Everton also docked.
Another 2 points.
Yeah, so...
Other game that happened Tuesday. I unfortunately missed the Tuesday game due to work.
Arsenal, Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, Arsenal tied 2-2.
Arsenal looked more dominant. I watched a bit of the first half for sure. The second half, I focused more on the City game because that's when break was over. And Arsenal looked like the better team. It's just like they gave up 2 shitty goals quick to Bayern Munich.
One was a penalty to Kane.
Yeah.
And then...
which, I don't know, David, did you see the replay?
I didn't see it.
Okay, did we see the replay? David Raya was already falling down.
Oh, but like off the penalty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was already, like before he even ran up to the ball.
Yeah, and then, so they made it 2-1. Second half, Arsenal made it 2-2. But the difference is this one's going to Allianz Arena.
But there was also a penalty shout that happened in the...
It was that... I missed that thing. Is that handball thing?
It's not handball. This was a Neuer tripping Saka situation.
Okay. So there's 2. There was that one, and then there was one where like the goal kick, where Thomas Tuchel went crazy, where I forgot someone passed it to someone, but then instead, you know how like it used his feet to pass it over, and he used his hand to reset, and apparently according to Tuchel, the ref said that it was just a minor mistake. It was like a little kid mistake, so he let him do it again, type of thing.
What the hell?
It's like you placed the ball down, you passed it over, but then the other guy picked it up.
And
put it away.
Yeah, I see. Okay, this one was Saka. Neuer comes out like Saka got the ball first.
Yeah,
he did, but Neuer technically did not stick a leg out. He did make a lunge toward the ball, but like
I missed this then.
Pulled his leg out. You definitely missed this.
Yeah,
Saka did get tripped, but the thing when you look at the replay, Saka is the one who stuck his leg out. But at the same time, you can kind of see Neuer make an attempt to a ball. Saka did get ball first. I think this is a situation where if you call whatever the on-field decision was, you just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
And the on-field decision was no penalty.
Okay. I have to look into that.
But like, yeah, I know we were arguing. My cousin came over. We were chilling. They were saying one was saying it's a penalty, one was saying it's no penalty. So it was one of those things it's just a debate. I just think whatever the on-field decision was, it'll be difficult to overturn no matter what happened.
Moving on to today's games on Wednesday, the Atletico Dortmund game, 2-1. Atletico looked more dominant.
I saw the Atletico games, goals. That was terrible from Dortmund.
Yeah.
Terrible defending, brutal giveaway on the first goal.
Yeah.
Second goal, just terrible defending. Dortmund did good in the sense of they made it a 1-goal game, right? So now I think they're away. I think they're going to Atletico. I think they're going to Madrid, yeah.
Then they're screwed.
Yeah, that would be tough. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I did all I watched was Barca PSG. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
so
same
I could be wrong, but yeah, Dortmund did well enough to get that goal back and make it a manageable comeback potentially in the second leg. But Barcelona PSG lived up to it again. Barca gets the early lead through Rafinha. PSG comes out hot.
2 goals in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, comes out hot. Ousmane Dembele with a banger. That was a rocket.
That was a banger, yeah.
And then who scored a second? I forgot. I'll be honest with you. I forgot who scored a second goal.
I'll look it up, but keep talking about the game.
Yeah, second goal, like 2 minutes after PSG make it. They were dominating even after that goal, right? For like another 5 minutes.
Vitinha.
Yeah, Vitinha. Okay, yeah. They were still dominating. Like Barca couldn't get out of their box. Barca also have their 17-year-old center back, Kubasi.
Yeah.
Who's insane that he's playing center back.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lamine Yamal. The Barca are known for their young studs. But a certain someone came back from injury and subbed on and made an instant impact with a perfect through ball to Rafinha, who made a perfect finish outside the foot volley. But Pedri with a just perfect ball, straight.
Yeah.
It's just a straight pass. So it's like these passes are very difficult to make. They have to be perfect, otherwise they're not going to work. They're very easy to defend. And it was just picture perfect. Pedri makes his return and sets up Rafinha beautifully. Another super subs change from Xavi. Andreas Christensen comes on
his birthday.
On his birthday. His first touch of the game was a game-winning header off a corner kick.
Exactly.
PSG did look... Donnarumma is shaky, bro.
Yeah.
He's so shaky because he should be coming out for that. For a guy that big, he should
that
be
tall,
easily claiming that corner kick. I don't know why he's so shaky in that situation. Because the corner kick happened in the 6-yard box. Right? Like, he scored in the 6-yard box. He was just standing there. So, Donnarumma hasn't been great for PSG. There's a lot of shaky moments I've seen for Donnarumma. But the biggest key for PSG is they got to free up Mbappe. Because he wasn't a danger man in their run.
It's Luis Enrique, man. He's coaching his whole team.
Yeah, it's coaching. He was talking shit about Xavi. He's like, I was better than you. But, Mbappe did not make that impact that we seen Mbappe make. That doesn't mean he's not going to make it a second leg.
Yeah.
Mbappe is incredible. But this game is, I believe, heading to the new camp, right?
Yeah.
In Barcelona.
So it's going to be tough.
So, again, it'll be a tough comeback for PSG. But then again, I think PSG have better... This is their better chance that they have, because it's Mbappe's team. They don't have to worry about Messi drama. They don't have to worry about being with Neymar.
Well, Mbappe's team for now.
But it's Mbappe's team for obviously now, this year.
Who's more likely to get through to end it off on the end of the pod here? Man City or Arsenal? They're both tied. One's going home and one's going away.
I think, I don't know. Arsenal did look good. They really did. But Bayern has experience.
At home as well.
And they're at home. And Bayern, at the end of the day, they were a good Champions League. They're a shit Bundesliga team, but they're a good Champions League team. Man City do have the tougher opponent. I'll say that much. I think Man City has a better chance, just a sense of they're just more experienced. Arsenal is young, right? Like, I didn't expect much from Arsenal in this UCL. This being their first one in like quite a while. And all these guys are playing their first UCL tournament this year. So I'll give it to Man City.
I'm trying to see who they're playing midweek, just to see if that helps your decision. Arsenal's playing Aston Villa.
On the weekend, yeah.
Midweek, they got Luton.
City got Luton?
Yeah. So speaking of someone who has to free up, Haaland, same thing.
Yeah, he's been him and De Bruyne.
De Bruyne was on the bench for this one, but yeah.
They were missing.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm going to go, I'll give City the edge. I think Bayern will beat Arsenal in Germany.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're in the Allianz, man. Bayern are tough to be in the Allianz, right? In the Champions League.
And then experience versus non-experience. And I won't be surprised if that's a factor. As good as Arsenal look, don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's that one. How much of a chance you give PSG a comeback?
I give them a fair chance.
Because it is Barcelona.
I'll still give it a 50-50.
Yeah. And Dortmund, I feel like Atletico should close that game out. That's just me.
Hey, man, if Atletico have a lead, it's going to be hard to score.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it from us. Pretty good long pod, but we appreciate you guys watching it throughout the whole thing. Make sure you guys comment down below your thoughts, like the video, and subscribe. Like Joven said, we're about 13 away from 500, so help us out there. More content should be coming out. Playoff content should be coming out soon. Make sure you guys follow our socials, link down below. We'll be dropping a lot of clips there as well. Audio listeners, we appreciate you guys downloading it, rating it, and reviewing it. Continue doing that. And other than that, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.